don't know. What are you doing?
I don't know.
There's this apparently new phrase called cousin face. What do you think it is?
Nope.
It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that.
Nope.
It's
what is it, Jacob?
You have a face. Apparently, it's like if you have a cousin face. It's apparently you look like you could be related to that person or something.
So who's my cousin face?
I don't fucking know. Someone that looks like you. Someone you don't know that it looks like you. Looks like they could be related to you.
I mean, that's not. You're making it sound like that's pretty stupid. But
because there was an entire fucking article written about it. That's what's stupid thing.
Sounds like a BuzzFeed thing.
It was a lad Bible.
Oh, yeah.
I hate how much I click on those fucking articles. And it's because I click on them that they're always on my fucking feed constantly.
Yeah, but I mean, they're good pooping articles.
That's pretty much what it is.
That's what they are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, just sitting there.
I've actually gotten to the point where like I'm so frustrated with them that I don't even click on the article. I just read the first couple of comments to be like, do I even want to read this? Like, can I get what I need out of the comments?
10 things millennials hate about coffee. You're like,
it makes shit.
You're like, sure. Like, I guess I'll read that.
I'm saying, yeah,
they get me.
It works. Dumb fucking clickbait.
Yeah, it works. It's there for a reason.
Our fucking Neanderthalic brain or caveman brain. Yes. What article to read? I should stop taking my phone to the bathroom and just start reading the shampoo bottle again.
They're in the computer.
God damn it.
Alrighty. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Hello.
Oh yeah. What? It's such a hello. What?
That is so bizarre.
Are you ready? Do you want this to be the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just on one of my tabs was Common Sense Media.
Okay.
And it has a poster of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I just caught on my peripheral also that you know how the posters, the dinosaurs and the parade.
Yeah.
So I see Togepi, the South Park Boys, SpongeBob, Ash, Brock, Misty. Someone had just taken it and gotten all these other
little things into it.
Jafar's in the background.
Wow. Okay.
I just noticed. It's kind of cool.
It's weird.
Hello, welcome back to Tommy and Jacob's mixtape or TJ's mixtape. I'm Tommy. That's Jacob.
I'm a person.
We're two good friends, and we like to talk about movies. So we review them, kind of go through the history, who made them, who's in them, and then just kind of talk about it and give it a rating at the end.
Who?
And the rating is arbitrary, but it's a nice little period to put on the end. And this week we're doing. I don't know. I have so many thoughts, but so little energy about them. We're back.
A Dinosaur's Story.
Yeah.
I thought it was a dinosaur story, but it's a dinosaur's story.
It's theirs.
It's their story. His story.
So for this is definitely people for more our age. If you forgot about that movie, yes, it did exist. It is a thing.
And we probably shouldn't remember it in a weird way.
I remembered it. They didn't remember it.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's pretty. Yeah, I was watching it, just kind of like, man. There was definitely moments while I was watching it, and I think when I was younger, I never really got past, I think, the parade scene, because then I just lost interest, and then my mom was like, well, this movie fucking sucks, so I'm going to turn it off. Because I remember like wanting to watch it when I was a kid. My mom would be like, all right, I guess we're going to put this on. Like not interested at all.
I actually, which is kind of great, I watched this with my mom. And I was like, I liked this movie a lot as a kid. And she was like, yeah.
The same fucking thing. Yeah.
So it was pretty fun because she's like, wow, this is going to be a walk down memory lane. And then we just ripped it apart. But for those that don't know, we're back. A Dinosaur Story is, I literally wrote, time travel and brain expanding cereal throws dinosaurs in New York City, and they have to avoid a circus from hell.
What's really weird is when you think about the concept of this story, it sounds kind of interesting and cool.
I really do think it had potential.
It has so much potential. There's so much potential.
But like, I know we made the comment before. This is such a fever dream because of like beat to beat what we're going through.
Yeah.
This movie is for kids.
Oh, 100%. That's one of my notes. That's one of my notes. Yeah.
There's nothing in there for an adult to. Maybe the fact that Little Richard did a song, maybe for it.
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't. He just sung that song. He didn't write it.
No, I know, but I mean, it's a Little Richard sung that song, so I don't really know.
I thought there it is. This is a kids movie.
It's a Saturday morning cartoon kind of.
It's got Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes identity all fucking over it.
Yeah, it's really, and it's just like from beat to beat,
but it's
kind of wild.
The reason why is because it's Steven Spielberg producing and his animation studio that did Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting a little bit of heartburn. No. Vegan food gives me heartburn sometimes.
Do you have your things?
Yeah.
Just do it now. Just pop over there.
I'm gonna write it out.
Okay, well, you can't break it up again.
All right. Okay, fine.
But yeah.
It hurts so bad.
We're Back released November 24th, 1993.
2 days before my birthday.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a movie.
It's definitely a movie.
And
it's okay. So really quick, I don't know. Let's just so this movie's only an hour and 12 minutes. Let's not spend an hour and 12 minutes talking about hour and 12.
Yeah, let's get through this first part. So it is originally a book based on Hudson, a book by Hudson Talbott, who has written 27 kids books. It's a kids book.
Yeah,
and
apparently he collaborated with Stephen Sondheim to do a book version of Into the Woods.
Yeah. So.
But like this is kind of like, and also the children's book of this, it's only like the whole thing is like aliens exist in this world, which is fucking just that time. This is a weird fucking movie.
From beat to beat, you're like,
the book is like it's alien, like a Zolbar or whatever, picks up these dinosaurs and gives them a vitamin, makes them sentient, takes them to the future into the Macy's Day Parade, and the dinosaurs pretend to be pretend to be balloons in the Macy's Day Parade, but then they scare people, and then the museum person gets them and then puts them on display so they can pretend to be dinosaurs there, and that's the end of the story of the book.
Yeah, it's literally a
first
picture book.
Like the first 30 minutes of the movie is what the book is.
Yeah,
because there's no the cops in society are the antagonist of the book.
Yeah. There is no real plot in which to speak of. And
whatever plot. Oh, you're talking about the book? Yeah,
yeah,
the actual book. Yeah,
because it's a picture book. At the end of the day,
yeah.
It's kind of just it's weird because. It's so loosey goosey because of the fact that there is no real plot that you could really do a lot.
Yeah,
but they did a lot.
Yeah, they did
a lot of stuff they shouldn't have.
Did you find the deleted scene that had John Malkovich doing the voice of Screw Eyes?
No, that's pretty dope though.
He was originally supposed to be the voice of Screw Eyes.
Listen here, you dinosaur fuck face.
Right. Steven Spielberg heard some of his initial recordings and said it was too scary and
for the fear monger.
Yeah. And so he was like, no, this is, and it's we need to find someone else. And so, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah.
What was it? Happy Eyes is the other one. What's the Good Scientists?
Oh, I don't. What's his name?
Happy Eyes.
Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, but yeah.
I don't know. I lost it.
Never mind. It doesn't matter.
Captain New Eyes.
Captain New Eyes. That's
New
right.
Eyes.
New Eyes.
Not Screw Eyes.
I said no. Screw Eyes
is the evil brother.
Yeah.
And then New Eyes.
I was saying Happy Eyes.
Yeah. But
anyway, so yeah, original book, Hudson Talbott, who also apparently lives in the Hudson Bay. I don't know. I was like, this is what.
He's named after where he was conceived.
Yeah, right.
The whole joke. Don't quote that.
Yeah, I know. But this screenplay, let's and then we'll get into directors because that's kind of a convoluted mess. This screenplay was written by John Patrick Shanley, who won an Academy Award, I want to say, for Moonstruck. But he wrote Doubt, Congo.
The gorilla one, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a crazy
Joe versus Volcano.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of theater. I've actually performed some of his works.
Oh, really? Like what? Anything I would know?
Danny and the Deep Blue. No, Danny and the Deep Blue Sea is what I did for my sophomore, like final exam, and it was one of the few times that, but at that time I was struggling figuring out acting, and I remember my the theater provost, like the lead guy, or the head of all of it, head of the theater department, was like, Jacob, I see you fighting and crawling and kicking and screaming to prove that you can be a leading man. And if you keep doing what I just saw, you might prove us all wrong or all right or whatever. And I was like, what? I thought I was doing good. Does that what?
But yeah, that's Joe.
Yeah, John Patrick Shanley.
John. I was reading Joe versus Volcano.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now the next bit of our directors, there are 4. Phil, Simon, Dick, and Ralph.
Yeah, Phil Nibbelink, who was, I saw noted, spent the most time working
doing
on
this.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Then Simon Wells, and then Dick Zondag and Ralph Zondag brothers. So essentially, it seems like there was just too many projects going on at the same time.
Yeah, and they kept pulling people to go do other stuff, like
Balto.
Like Simon Wells was pulled to do Balto, which I liked that movie growing up a lot.
Yeah, we'll get down. Okay, maybe we can do it in here in a second. But I have thoughts on like animation, the evolution of animation in this time.
Yeah.
And then like also they both and then like Five Will Goes West. They both worked on Phil and Simon worked on that together. And then Simon Wells, also known, he directed Prince of Egypt, Mars Needs Moms, The Time Machine. I was like, what the fuck? The only live action thing that he directed.
The Guy Pearce one, right?
Yeah, that's apparently a really bad adaptation of the actual novel.
I liked it as a kid. I can't say to what it is now.
I remember seeing it in the theaters and being like, what the fuck am I watching?
It was pretty wild. There's some wild stuff that happens in that. And I think Jeremy Irons is like the villain at the very end. I
can't remember that.
I just
remember the weird albino creatures.
Jeremy Irons is their leader.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Aren't they like weird, like...
Yeah, but he's not... He's an evolved humanoid that somehow is controlling these other...
All right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like wild. You're just kind of like, whoa, what's going on? What? Hey, fella, what's going on over there?
And then also all of these 4 directors are like really big in like art department for stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like Dick Zondag, only other directing credit that I saw that he did a lot of was Reboot. He did a bunch of episodes of.
Yeah, and then Ralph did Dinosaur, another Disney. Well, no, this isn't Disney, but Disney.
That's a Disney one
called
I'm
Dinosaur. Quitter. Yeah, but Dinosaur was. I remember that one. Well, this whole.
I've never seen Dinosaur actually.
I remember again like
that's kind of like a CGI, like one of their early like step away from regular animation.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it was all CGI thing, but this whole movie started a really interesting conversation about the rise and fall of the American public's obsession with dinosaurs.
Yeah, because like especially Steven Spielberg attached to it, who brought us Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
same year.
She was talking about how interesting it was to watch all of that happen, and then especially with a kid involved too, because I became obsessed with dinosaurs, so it was more in the house kind of thing. But she was like, even with conversations, the scientists were finding all these different dinosaurs, and it was just something you talked about around the water cooler at work. And she was like, and it didn't happen gradually or quietly. It was really in the zeitgeist and really there.
I was reading something about the craze like started in the 60s and then like really popped off because of like the early 90s because of Jurassic Park and all that.
Well,
shit.
That was what my mom was saying. She was like, it was already kind of happening.
Yeah.
But she was like, then the full, from her perspective at least, then the full swing into Dinotopia was just real. She was just like, it was crazy. It was everywhere. It was dinosaurs.
I wonder if there's like how early on, like when was like the first dinosaur exhibit type thing? You know, do you see where my brain's going with this?
Not particularly.
I'm trying to like think about the correlation between the rise of like the dinosaur craze and the actual like public knowledge of dinosaur bones and dinosaurs in general. Because you got to think, like in the 1800s, like, or at some point, like people didn't know dinosaurs existed, and then some dude dug up a giant skeleton and was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then some guy with fucking glasses like, "Well, actually," sorry.
Well, the first Tyrannosaurus Rex was discovered in 1902 in Hell
1902?
Creek, Montana.
Okay. Oh yeah. I knew that. But like, so the whole thing is like, how, like, because the news spread slower back then, you know, and slowly. So I wonder if there is this correlation of like public knowledge in the early 60s kind of becoming a thing of like dinosaur exhibits or, you know, museums having this stuff, and then people, you know, and then like there's books being published about this.
Well, no, but that's what my mom was saying. She was like, it wasn't that. It was really in the late 80s, 90s. That's when it became the popular thing.
Because the kids that were in the 60s that were like now learning about the stuff are now like, haha, look at the dinosaurs.
But I just thought it was so weird how, like, I was just thinking about that as being a parent, just sitting there, and then just out of nowhere, this thing just becomes the most popular thing.
Beanie Babies.
Sliced bread. Yeah, it made me really think about all that kind of stuff.
Tickle Me Elmo.
Why are the Furbies? Why?
Cabbage Patch Kids.
Why are there 3 of those things in my house? You want me to buy what? I will eat your heart. You know, they're terrifying.
Oh man. Okay. That was a fun conversation, but let's get back into the movie. Let's go to starring.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's weird about the starring with this is there's really only a couple like bigger names.
Well, even then, though, some of the bigger names you won't even know, because 2 of them are, even for this time, they're pretty old and not really.
Yeah.
Walter Cronkite and Julia Child.
Well, the only reason they were cast, did you read that?
No.
So, I forget who did the storyboard of this part. It might have been the brother Zondags. No, it might. Anywho, whoever did the storyboard for it, they drew the characters as characters of those people,
and did like voices,
and did like an impression. And I think it was Spielberg was like,
"That's entertaining.
That's entertaining.
Fun.
Let's see if they'll
Use
do it."
that, yeah.
So
Right,
Julia
I
Child,
did read that, yeah,
and Walter Cronkite being these 2 people, like it was just kind of like, which also easiest goddamn voice acting job in the world.
And I just feel like it's necessary to say, especially if you're a younger person, Walter Cronkite was the voice of America.
Yeah.
For 20 years.
Yeah.
The anchor man. And that's the way it was.
And that's the way it was.
Yeah.
I can't do the fucking yeah. He's
So
got a very unique voice.
If you have no idea who we're talking about, I think if you're a certain age, that's completely fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Julia Child was a very famous chef celebrity,
Ooh.
TV chef.
Meryl Streep is amazing, and Julia.
Yeah. Which I just thought, I don't know. I just thought it was so random. It was just so random to me.
I mean, because it is.
Because even then I did the math. Walter Cronkite was 77 years old when he recorded this.
Yeah.
I was like, what? But
still got a voice.
Yeah, no, he said, yeah.
And then we have like our leading dinosaur Rex, voiced by John Goodman, who at this time in America, John Goodman is very popular.
Okay, I was like, where are we going with that?
I don't know why I said
you
in
said
America.
It like, yeah. Well, yeah. Like,
I don't know, in America.
And then like
we're coming off 4th of July talks, man. I still got America on the brain.
Lo and behold, you're like, no, he's English. And you just like pull up an interview, and he's got like this Cockney accent.
He's very much not.
He just made it clear.
But no, he's very popular because of Roseanne. Really, at the time, he's like America's dad right now.
Yeah. So yeah, Roseanne.
We'll not worry about. Let's not talk about Roseanne Barr, but we'll talk about John Goodman.
I liked Roseanne.
The show was great.
Yeah, like Nick at Night.
I mean, I watched. Oh, god damn it! Our age difference right now.
Yeah, but I watched that Nick at Night, and what's weird about Roseanne.
I watched it releasing.
I remember Roseanne. I found utterly and horribly depressing, but I really liked it
because it was real.
Yeah, I found it really just a bummer, but I really liked it. And I liked it because of John. I liked John Goodman.
That show was a legit reflection of how I grew up.
Like the middle class,
lower middle class.
Yeah. And now more recently the Connors.
Yeah.
It is now the Connors.
Then I have next. I mean, we'll just do a quick shout out to Jay Leno, I guess. Even though it's a small voice part, he does the weird alien.
Yeah, and Jay Leno's another famous.
Yeah, Jay Leno. Yeah.
Tonight Show, right?
Yeah, the Tonight Show.
Yeah, Tonight Show. Jay Leno.
I don't have a punchline. Huh?
I saw him once.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he in a car? Oh, In and Out.
Yeah, I saw him In and Out once.
Oh no, Johnny Rockets. Never mind. I was gonna say, what's up with In and Out and all these celebrities?
Macklemore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him once at
Hey, can I get a animal style? Thank you. Yeah. Why am I doing a Jay Leno
I don't know. I
impersonation?
have so much to say about Jay Leno. I don't want to get into it.
I got Rhea Perlman.
Oh yeah. Well, even small bit Mother Bird.
Small part. Oh, it's like I was looking at it in order because like the actual voice actors, I didn't really recognize any of them.
Well, actually, here's a good point too, because this movie is only an hour and 12 minutes. No one actually really says a lot at any given time because there is no time to.
Screw Eyes has the most
dialogue than anybody else.
Yeah,
because it is so rapid fire, and it is maybe John Goodman because he does do a whole song number,
and the kid that plays Louie.
Yeah, but even then saying that, it's kind of weird to sit there and be like, no one's actually really saying a lot.
Yeah.
And even when they are having these quote unquote heartfelt moments, it's real generic kind of just blah.
What's weird is like the best part of it was Martin Short as the fucking clown.
Yeah. No, that was good. Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's so, what a weird fucking movie. Do you have anyone else that you want to give a shout out to for voice acting?
Felicity Kendall playing Elisa, the pterodactyl. And then what's
Yeardley Smith, who is the voice of Lisa in The Simpsons.
Yeah,
she's the voice of Cecilia, the little girl in this.
Yeah.
Also, what a fucking like
Kenneth Mars, who plays Professor Screw Eyes.
The relationship that Cecilia and Louis have is so like, he's all like, I'm a boy, I don't like girls, but I secretly like her, and she's like, I'm boy crazy. She's just lonely, is what she really is.
Yeah, I think that's more like she also just wants a friend.
Yeah. But like she like wraps herself up in his jacket and she's like, and Louis, I really like you. And he's like, whoa.
Yeah, there's a couple moments like that, and then the pterodactyl is always trying to get up all in the T-Rex's business. Like that line, she's like, the way you look at me wants me to makes me want to lay an egg. And you're like, what? Okay. Or I'm sorry, I do have to point out that there's two really unhinged moments that Louis has, our main character.
Which ones?
And you can't think of them off the top of your head?
This movie's still a fever dream to me right now.
Okay. So when he first meets Cecilia, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
When he first meets Cecilia, and they're like, he's talking to her, and he's like, why are you crying? She's like, I'm not crying, but it's Thanksgiving. And he's like, what, you don't like turkey? And then she goes, no, it's my parents. And he goes, what, did they beat you?
Yeah, that's right.
Just casually. Just casually. It got me.
What, did they beat you? Huh?
It just cracked me up. I was like, okay, we're just going to casually do that. And there's another moment. What's this other one? Oh, yeah. There's this other moment where they're on the float, and they're the little castle part. And she gets all up on him. And he goes, hey, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
They animated him getting up. I was like, what the fuck are we doing with this kid?
It shows a reflection of the life he lives at home, or at whatever home he.
No, but even then,
homeless.
He's a
runaway. He's a runaway.
Yeah, but his big complaint is that his mother was like, when she's like, my parents are emotionally distant. His are, my mom's all up in my business, always smothered me with kisses in public, so I had to get out of there.
Oh, that's right.
So it could be also him not being honest if you want to like kind of read into it. But I mean, the fact that he was like, what do? They beat you? Like I feel like he doesn't really have like...
He doesn't have a filter.
Yeah, like he would have just said like, whatever was going on.
I like rocks.
I like turtles. But I just, those two moments. And what kind of made me like really just about it is like, it's different with a live action, the actor could put in a nuance or something, and you could be like, well, that could be an accident, that could be on purpose. It can really vary.
Yeah.
But with animation, it's like, no, they drew him to do that, and I was like, this is a kid's movie, guys. Like,
it's 1993.
Well, he still just didn't need to do it. Like,
it's the innocence of a child. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's all New York with that accent and shit. I was just like, that was pretty unhinged.
Has a weird fucking breakfast making contraption.
What is
up
with the late 80s and 90s and these contraptions? We always need everything to make our food for us.
And then fucking, but also it's not
like Tinker Toys that you string up with a battery.
But it's also it's a weird, quick thing for exposition to show how crafty or intelligent our main character actually is.
Totally, I get that, but they never bring that back around.
No, that's exactly what I was about to say. And then it never comes back around. It's just like, oh, I want to be like them because they have that, And then let's get into reviews.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. I was just like, no, let's just.
So this got a 6.0 on IMDb. How?
Nostalgia is a powerful tool. And
then on Rotten Tomatoes, a 38% tomato meter. So like that feels more right. And then a 50% audience score.
There is no Metacritic for this, so I just kind of found some stuff.
All right.
So the one I put on top is Daniel Kimmel at Variety wrote, in spite of narrative problem, the film's chief appeal is the central conceit that giant monsters can be transformed into creatures who like to play with children.
That's actually a lot more depth than I think I could have put into this movie.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you've really found that one drop of water in that rock.
God damn.
Then for the kind of mix, Janet Maslin from New York Times. Parents seeking innocent kiddie entertainment should know that the dinosaurs are drugged. The children are briefly transformed into monkeys, and the professor is eventually devoured by crows.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's a lot of what the fuck in this.
So much what the fuck. And it's like, why did this turn into like Pinocchio all of a sudden?
And then Roger Ebert.
Oh, my man.
Chicago Sun-Times. It's shallow and kind of dumb, and the animation is routine, and the story isn't much, and the stakes are a lot higher these days in the feature-length animation game.
Yeah.
Which he's kind of like, which is true. At this point, there are some movies coming out where it's like, okay, what you were kind of talking, where you mentioned is the evolution of movies. We're getting to the point where we're making them not just for children, we're making them for the adults that are taking them.
Yeah.
To be able to sit through.
And like a big thing I was thinking about, especially at this time, is like Disney is running the market with animated movies. Like,
that's an interesting concept.
What?
That like when you talk to certain people about animated movies, they have this idea that they're for kids. Mm-hmm. But we're that age where we were in that evolution and saw them being made for adults.
Yes.
So we can go into something and go, oh yeah, this is very entertaining. For an adult, there are a lot of, like, Shrek, just as an example, that's very written for kids and adults.
It's the best one to use as an example for, because it's one that really did break the door open for there to be for adults to enjoy with the children.
Yeah. So I just had that epiphany.
But like a big thing is like, because of how Disney Disney's running the market with animated movies, and even though I would say like Lion King, Little Mermaid, all of these like early 90s Disney movies, very much still targeted for kids, but there's enough character development and thought put into the story that adults can enjoy it too.
And I think that also just from in a superficial aesthetic way too.
Yeah.
Disney was pushing the boundaries on a lot of conventional animation techniques.
Very much true as well.
Like even that scene, like my parents have heard them talk about that scene in Beauty and the Beast when the ballroom scene.
Yeah.
And them just being like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, that was just stuff like that just wasn't done. And the vibrant colors and how crisp and clean and everything was. So I think that's a big factor too. Because this movie is
dull,
which is weird because the color scheme is...
Yeah.
Pastel-y and watercolory.
And what I want to do is kind of like flip it and really look at this movie in the realm of the Don Bluth stuff, because we have like the only other like animation like movies that are more or less successful around this time in the early 90s is like The Secret of Nim, The Last Unicorn, An American Tale. You know, there are some gems of like really good animated movies in the 80s and early 90s.
All Dogs Go to Heaven.
All Dogs Go to Heaven. But they're all, and I didn't realize is that they're almost all Don Bluth films. Like the Thief and the Cobbler, is that right? No.
Oh man, I haven't thought about that movie in a long time.
Is that the name of it?
I don't know.
Yeah, the Cobbler and the Thief. I had it backwards. I reversed. Yeah, that movie's got some crazy art in it. crazy, chase scenes and whatnot. But the problem, and so this...
That's The Thief and the Cobbler.
The Thief and the Cobbler, yeah.
Animated film by Richard Williams.
It's Richard, okay.
Vincent Price and Matthew Broderick.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about this movie. Whoa,
That'll give you something to watch a little bit.
Yeah, that just unlocked. I forgot about that.
So, like, the thing is
it's Miramax.
And we're moving in, like, Balto's about to come out soon as well. And, like, I feel like Balto is kind of like the beginning of, like, some more animation stuff that is getting better. Anastasia really, like, kicks off with some stuff that's non-Disney. Like, there's just not a lot of, like, non-Disney good animated films coming out at this time. And those that are like this. They're shallow. You know, like the what is it called? The Troll in the Garden or whatever.
The green thumb one.
Yeah, I think so.
Troll in Central Park.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? I think that's what you're talking about.
And then you have like Thumbelina, which is bleh.
Thumbelina's okay.
Princess and the Frog.
And again, I just want to put on record that this is all from remembering back. I haven't watched these in a long time. I remember, or like the Swan Princess, Swan Princess.
Yeah, there's Ferngully. Ferngully is an interesting one as well.
Well, that's the thing though. A lot of the movies that you're describing that you're like, they're actually pretty content-wise okay.
Yeah.
Is because at the end of the day, they have this overall theme. Like Ferngully is protection of the environment.
Yeah. Yes.
And what they did is they made it very kiddie and then personified pollution into this entity, this almost godlike, god of death kind of persona.
It's like he's become a metaphor.
Yeah. And so that was really smart. And like with a lot of those, you can kind of break down, even if it's really trivial, this whole thing about what Daniel pulled out about even monsters can become creatures that are docile enough.
There's kind of like a don't judge a book by its cover thing.
But it's so thin and it's such a stretch.
But it's only for a moment, because then when you actually get introduced to Screw Eyes, it turns into more of like the power of friendship.
Love. Yeah, the power of love
will overcome even the darkest of the foes.
Well, and it's
Harry Potter.
Well, it's just weird though too, because it's like it's this weird movie, and I know that I feel like some people are sitting there like just brushing it off because of the fact.
I don't think many people remember the Screw Eyes portion of it.
No, but what I'm getting at too is that this is a I don't know how to word this, and let me get it out, and then you can help me maybe like fine tune it. This is literally a movie that doesn't need to happen, only in the sense of everything that's going on is created by our hero, our scientist that is pulling a John Hammond and thinks that the American public needs to be introduced to dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So he goes back in time in his spaceship kite flying winged thing
with an alien. Oh, but he's a time traveler, so he's also traveled to the future
with serial brain gain that makes you smart, and then he decides to take these dinosaurs, make them smart, then take them to New York, and then instead of dropping them off the place they're supposed to be, drops them in the Hudson River. But before doing that is, by the way, look out for my wacky brother who also happens to be here right now. Just avoid him at all. And you're sitting there, you're like, why?
Not only why, but it's like the way that it's like spoon fed to you.
And that's what's great. Since it's an hour, it's just boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. You're just giving all this information really quick.
But it's like I'm thinking like metaphor, like spoon fed is like, it's like you're getting all like spoon fed all this, but you're not swallowing any of it.
No, they're just, yeah, you're chubby bunnying it. And you're kind of like, is the first doctor, the first professor, is he our villain? Because he's creating this whole situation.
No. Because very clearly, at one point, Rex looks at the poster of the circus and says, Professor Screw Eyes, Daunted Circus, that's the bad guy!
Yeah.
Flat out says, also looking almost directly into the camera. Like, hey guys, just so in case you forgot, that's the bad guy! And it's not even like it's like you were just told that, hey, look out for my brother, Professor Screw Eyes. He's nuts, and he's gonna want to try to kill
But
you.
even they don't even tell him why.
Yeah, no,
he's a loony bin.
Yeah, he's a loony.
Yeah, don't go
And
near
like,
him.
and then, but it's like, so then it's like now because of their narration, their narrative, it's like, oh, that's our bad guy. We just have a bad guy now. We're going to announce to the fucking audience, that's the bad guy.
If you forgot, because there's a lot coming at you.
Oh, my God. And then you get to a circus, and his circus is
The circus is dope.
It's so fucking cool.
Well, okay, okay. I want to talk base on that. So they're sitting there, all these 4 directors and everything, and they're sitting there, and they got like, okay, we got this kid's book, but we don't really have a plot because there's not really a plot because it's just a fucking picture book at this point. What are we going to put in there? And then you have this whole thing of like, well, okay, we kind of need the theme of monsters, right?
Yeah.
Monsters can actually be people. And I'm like, okay, well, then we get to the whole point of this fucking gothic circus. Why do they just scrap everything and go from, all right, we actually have this idea with the circus and monsters. What if we just make it about this monster circus and screw the dinosaurs? Like, that's the disconnect that I am having a hard time with.
It's like they forced this story of dinosaurs into this weird monster circus thing.
And my mom's convinced that it's a cash grab because they're trying to jump on the band.
It's Steven Spielberg, right? Yeah, of course it is. He's like Jurassic Park.
It's in the play. I mean, the parade.
I know.
The movie theater is showing.
Oh, he was flat out. He was called out for that, for like blatantly like.
Why? It's my fucking movie.
Yeah, no, they were like, dude, you're really gonna promote your own fucking movie in another one of your movies?
Yeah, why not?
It's because he's jerking himself off.
Ready Player One.
Dude, that movie's. Yeah, I know. You know how I feel about that movie. Well, but that's also not him doing all of that.
But the movie's just a big jerk off of like, look at all this property. You know, I don't know. That's a weird thing to. I don't know.
Even though he directed that, like that movie, it was a book first that had all that shit.
No, it's kind of wild though too with that movie.
Ready Player One.
No, about this movie. Sorry, about this movie is sitting there and when they're in the parade and having the Spider-Man float, the Snoopy float, all these different things. You're kind of like, that's just not really a thing that you would do anymore.
That happens every year. What are you talking about?
No. I mean, in a movie or a TV show or something, they would do I feel like they would do the Kirkland brand equivalent. Like they may not be able to get away with.
Oh, like the rights of.
Yeah. Like in a Sony movie, you'd only see all the Sony properties in the parade, and a Disney movie, you'll see Disney. Yeah. But it's so like cut down of who has what that you wouldn't get a proper Macy's parade. I almost said May Day parade. Like, wait, what? That's different. That's a different thing.
Macy's parade. Yeah, I see what you mean.
I just thought that was a funny observation. I was just like, oh, there's a lot of different, and that is the Macy's Day Parade, but now with copyright and everything like that, people would be way more careful about what they
lawsuit.
Yeah, like suit. But yeah, it kind of is wild for an hour-long movie. Well, I guess what's crazy about it is for an hour-long movie, how much does and does not happen.
I know.
It's kind of weird. It's wild.
It's also fucking weird how what the world that this is, because it's an animated. I think this is another flaw of this movie, is that since it's a kids movie, it leans into this sense of unrealistic groundness, where like at the Macy's Day Parade, the kids all realize that they're dinosaurs and are like it's magic happening in front of them. And then as soon as like it's like the adults realize they're really dinosaurs, now they're monsters and everything's a fucking problem. But then so it's like this sense of like adults lack awareness of all this shit, because even like that one moment where like the Triceratops is like on the motorcycle,
yeah,
and like it's like the parent and the kid are crossing the street. The kid is registering this 600-pound fucking reptile next to it on a motorcycle, and the parents just.
Well, I get you. I get what you're saying, but at the same time,
it's meant for comedic effect.
Yeah, but at the same time, the rapid fire of everything, they never give you a moment to let anything sink in.
Yeah.
Like even what you just said, I didn't even think about that. It's like there was no problem until the parents' mob mentality basically kicked in. They started panicking, and then they made it a problem.
Yeah.
But it's so fast because then next we got Rex on a truck using it like a skateboard.
Right.
And it's just so rapid fire that even as an adult, you sit there and you're like, there's no time for any of this to sink in. It really is just for the kid of next set, next set.
Like, oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, she missed it. She put the thing on the dinosaur. She doesn't see it's a dinosaur.
As I was watching it too, it's like it was kind of weird because in my head I had these flashes of certain things, right? Mm-hmm. I remembered the flying spaceship.
Didn't remember that.
I remember them force feeding the cereal. I remembered all these things, right? But it was in that way of a memory where it was like, you know, flash, 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 flash. Yeah. And then watching the movie, I was like, oh no, I remember the entire movie. Just the whole movie is flash, 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 flash. Like it's just like, and it's done. So I just thought that was.
This is one weird thing that kind of bothered, and I just think it's lazy writing or not. I don't know if it's I don't think it would be done in the same way today. Is when Rex becomes sentient, he starts singing "Row, row, row your boat, row, row, row." And my first thought was like, he doesn't know what a boat is. He doesn't know, like, this song is like, there's a reason why this song exists. You're now introducing like a world that he doesn't know into, like, sorry, like it bothered me so bad.
I think you're focusing on the wrong thing to be bothered by.
But it sets up to what it really should. It's set up for me is realizing this that there's no care of consequence in the writing or any of what's actually being presented for this tale. You know, it's like, and it's just going to be like, and it's just going to be like, and then we did this, and then it does this, and then it does this, and then it does this.
It did. It just seemed like this Hail Mary loose cannon fodder to make money, and it totally.
It's like, what would be a funny thing that he'd be singing there? What if he sings "Row, row, row"? Okay, that works. Okay, so they just got to New York for the parade. Okay, what if he just dropped him out with some parachutes and just didn't like do anything else? They're like, oh yeah, that's cool. What if Rex is in trouble all of a sudden, and then the kid has to pull him out with a crane? But it's just like, okay, yeah, that sounds cool as well. Like it was like a fucking darts at a dartboard, like story structure.
Yeah, like they just had Post-it notes up, and they were like, whatever we hit goes in the movie.
Like, and then
that'd actually be a kind of fun writing exercise.
I think I've done stuff similar to that.
Yeah, but do that and then be like, how are we going to get it from here to here?
Yeah.
Like, what can we do to get to these two plot points?
Aliens. All right.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. This movie was fucking weird.
Well, and then it's just this whole, and I get it, and it might just be because we've come to, not far, I don't know how I want to word that, but this whole thing, too, of dinosaurs as these monsters is just such a weird concept to me, too, because it's like, you don't call a tiger a monster. You don't call an alligator a monster.
I call an alligator a monster all fucking day. Okay. Sorry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this weird, because it's like they're animals. They're not monsters. They're animals. Yeah. They're doing... And also,
the monster lives inside of us.
They didn't ask to be born, okay? Like
none of us did.
They were kidnapped and forced consciousness, and then thrown into, you know what I mean?
And then force-fed sausages.
Know what it is? It's that, kind of weirdly, speaking of Jurassic Park, it's kind of that whole conversation that they're having at the dinner table of that you've just taken these animals and you've thrusted them into modern day society and don't think there's going to be any problem with two of these primary these top of species, you know, the ego of human and the power of the dinosaur, and they're not going to collide. Like that's basically, this is a really G-rated version of that, but it's like it's okay to take wild animals from home, take them home and make them pets. It's fine. I don't know. It's just a weird concept. I didn't remember all that because even
you're gonna live with me now.
When it started up, I was like, wait, how do the dinosaurs get to the present? Like I don't remember.
He just traveled through time.
And I did like when he turned from
the past to the near
middle future. And I was like,
you mean the present?
I looked at my mom and I was like, just so you know, the middle future was about 30 years ago. She laughed. That's when so we're getting close to the end, I think. The middle future. It's like no, like I don't know what, but it's weird to me. Like, why was that not? Why not just put it to the date?
I don't know.
What is middle future?
Because it's cute. It's also and weirdly.
It's not. It's stupid. It's not cute.
Yeah, but as a kid, you're like, middle future. Where is the middle future? Oh wow, there's more future.
No, the kids, the movie, the kids that are watching this movie, the demographic it's designed for, they can barely read. They're not gonna read middle future and get the joke.
Maybe they can't. I don't know. I was 7 when this came out. I could read. Fuck you.
Could you? No, I don't know.
When did you learn to read?
I don't fucking know. I've always read.
I was reading a book coming out of the vagina.
I always read. No, because that to me is like that's kind of like becomes kind of the weird thing about it. And I keep having to remind myself that this is kind of ludicrous to be having this conversation about this movie. I do want to point out, number one, I didn't remember it being like this. I thought there would be some more.
I thought there was going to be
some more substance to talk 100%, about.
Yeah.
But it is sitting there, and it's kind of ridiculous to have this because I feel like anyone that does remember it is like, yeah, like. But then you have to give us a little bit of credit because then, like, imagine. What, 7 years later? No, 6 years later, you take your kid, who's now, if they're 2 here, now they're going to be 8, 9, whatever. You take that kid now to Iron Giant. Yeah. And you sit down in the theater and you watch Iron Giant as a parent, as an adult, and you start crying like a baby. How shocking would that be to be like, whoa, like, because Iron Giant is like objectively an
amazing,
incredible movie.
Yeah.
Like it was way ahead of its time with animation, and it really had a lot of great themes. It was really heart-wrenching.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like it would be really shocking to be like, oh, wow, this actually.
Oh, this has story.
This touched the child in me. Yeah. You know, like Jesus.
Not in that way.
Had to fucking make it weird. But like, just. So it's like, it's not crazy to be like, no, animated movies can have a lot of substance and can really, you know, touch, like fuck you made that word weird. Can have an emotional pull on you. That's not much better.
Now your mind's just in the gutter. Come on.
You start.
So am I gaslighting you really bad right now?
You're just so derailing me. Like believe it or not, I had a conducive thought.
I really want to know what you're saying, but like I said one thing and then you derailed yourself. Just I'm not here anymore.
So it's like completely gone. I can feel it like slipping through it.
You were saying like animation, like can have depth and you know.
Oh, I guess just that. It's just like to go into this movie and expect something to be in it,
and there's nothing.
And there's nothing, and it's not crazy to think that because you have watched something. You know, that's what it was. And Iron Giant's a good example of this movie with actual some levity to it and has an emotional response. And you think, oh, like, and that was kind of the idea. It's like, oh, does this movie have something in it that we kind of might have forgotten about because we were younger and maybe just missed it? No.
Yeah, no, it's
not really.
It literally is it's a fever dream of a fever dream. Like, which also I feel like this movie is like it's attempting to be a copy of a copy. It's attempting to be a Don Bluth Disney movie / Disney movie. It's attempting to, and it's not doing it at all.
Like even like in our heartfelt scene where he's trying to, and that might just be, you know, part of the child in me that's dead. But when Louis, is that his name? Yeah, Louis is like trying to make sure that
no, Rex, don't eat him.
Yeah, which number one, I'm like, I think we're supposed to care, and I don't like at all. But even then, that whole monologue that he has about not being a bully and whatever, it just sounds like when I think of it in my head.
Like, why didn't we build the rest of the movie around that?
But you know, like him being the big bad T-Rex, but even then, when I think back on that scene and his whole spiel that he's doing, I just hear it's all this muffled, just kind of gibberish that he's talking.
Because in Sicilian, it's even like in the background, don't do it.
Yeah, it's just all this blubbering nonsense.
It's like the sounds of baby crying made Rex sentient again to not eat the guy.
Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought the cereal made him sentient.
Yeah.
And then this other thing
but
made
the
him...
power of friendship overcomes.
Yeah, it's Pikachu crying brings back Ash. You know what I mean?
Some fucking powerful tears.
But like, okay, there's a great example.
Yeah.
The Pokemon movie had us bawling. Like, till now, even now, you think back on it, you're like, for a Pokemon movie, that was pretty well written for what it was, you know? And then you look at something like this and you're like,
And like, well, it's like, I guess there's just a lot of theme, attempts at themes that they just didn't really hit. But like, again, like if you're a kid, you're not noticing that. You're just writing this fucking like journey of a dinosaur movie. That's pretty much what this is. It's for kids to enjoy seeing dinosaurs be goofy, you know?
Yeah.
And then just like the sense of Screw Eyes and the villain and Louie and Cecilia. Louie and Cecilia is just kind of that groundedness to make the kid feel like there's a connection to it. The villain, just so there's some sense of like tension in the story of what could actually, whatever, you know? Because even like they create this sense of there to be a more meaty story, I guess. Because at the very beginning, the bird getting bullied by his brothers.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was that about?
And like escape, and then like I'm gonna fly away from
Rex
home now.
is playing golf,
and Rex is just fucking playing golf, and you're like dinosaur playing golf, and then he's like, let me tell you a story, and you're like, oh, so now we're also getting. So it's 2 degrees separated of a story. So it's a story. It's a movie with a story about him becoming sentient. You know, so it's a story in a story, which then it's like, okay, maybe, you know, that's why it's all goofy and whatever. And, you know, Rex is just actually, you know what? End of the day, Rex, you're a horrible storyteller.
And then there was cereal. It was like smart cereal. And that smart cereal made you really smart. And then there's a guy who's called Screw Eyes because he had a screw in his eye. Yeah.
Because of Crow. Oh, also, I can't remember. I might be bleeding the deleted scene that I watched. And does he explain how a crow took it in the movie?
No.
Okay, yeah, so that's the deleted scene. He talks about a crow that's why he's all evil. He's explaining why he's evil. That's what it is. He's like, a crow, when I was a kid, a crow came down and picked out my eye for no reason, and that's when I realized the world has no meaning, and I'm angry at it now. Is pretty much the thing. Well, then, but it's John Malkovich saying it.
But and then the crows are just now waiting to finish the job.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
they do.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Also, okay, we're like 53 minutes. I said
that's my favorite thing ever. These crows are just hanging around, just waiting for him to be alone, just 1 second alone, and we're coming for you. They fucking eviscerate him out of existence.
They murder him.
Stupid. It's good though. No, actually, I just had this thought too about this whole thing. It's like, this kind of feels like they took one of those Pixar shorts that they used to put, which I miss. I wish they would do that again. Mm-hmm. It kind of feels like they took one of those Pixar shorts and they stretched it out into an hour long. Like, I actually feel like this, you could
just imagine that lamp go,
You're going to have to turn it down there. But you know what I mean? Like, it actually, this works kind of as like a little 10-minute long, little boop, 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 you know?
Oh, you mean if they would have just done the book?
Yeah, just do the book. It would have. Like, Pixar would have been a good little Pixar short. Yeah. Why did they stop doing that?
They might still do some every now and then.
But that was like a thing. Every movie had one in front of it. And they were really good.
It was only the early Pixar, though.
Yeah, like the man playing chess with himself.
I want to say there's probably only 5 or 6.
I know you can get them all on DVD. Yeah, I know they make a collection of them.
But think about. I'm going to put this in perspective for you. There's like maybe 5 or 6 of those, and how many Disney Pixar movies exist?
Yeah.
So, It was definitely a fun thing for when it was doing. It probably just became.
There are 20.
There are 20?
Pixar has made 20 animated short films since the late 80s.
Pixar? Since the late 80s?
Yeah.
Oh, so like there's even more than you and I have.
Yeah, I'm looking at some, like this one's 1984.
Holy shit. Oh, but that's before they were with Disney, though, as well.
This short was produced before Pixar was even its own company.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Pixar wasn't even, like, done with Disney until, like, the late 90s. Because Toy Story, I want to say, was their first movie together.
It'd have to be. Right?
Disney Pixar? Yeah, I want to say that's the first Disney Pixar movie.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Some of them were even made, like this one, Knick Knack, was made in 1989 and was later played in theaters before Finding Nemo. So they actually took some of their older ones and they...
That's cute.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool idea. But...
Anyhow.
Yeah.
2? 1.5?
2. I say 2 because 1 point. It's almost like unfair to rate it any lower because it's like that's not. Put your 5-year-old in front of this, and I think he'll get the job done. You know. But I even apologized to my mother for making her watch it so many times growing up. And she's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is terrible. I really did not." This was an hour long. This is an hour I'll never get back.
Well, the thing about
I've taken it from you. So
think about this. It was not only a movie that you really liked to watch. You probably like when it ended. You're like, again.
I apologize
again
to all you parents out there doing good work.
I'm just imagining. I don't know why. A kid's like finishing a movie that the parent doesn't like, and the kid just like a fucking like bully, like again, play it again.
I don't know. What are you feeling? What is your gut?
I think I might. When I said 2, I was like, I feel like that's too high. And then I was like 1.5.
It's at 1.5?
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
That's rough.
It's really rough.
It's bad. This movie's not good. It was hard to watch. I literally had to watch it twice.
You watched it twice?
I had to.
I'm so sorry.
Because the first time I watched it, I couldn't pay attention.
Which is so weird because it's just colorful and...
I fell asleep.
I kept pausing it. Like, how much time is there?
It's an hour and 12 minutes, and it feels like
an eternity.
Yeah.
It's like so weird. You're like this, and I was like the saving. I was sitting there getting ready to watch it. And I was like, I'm just so not really interested in watching this. Oh, but it's just an hour long, and then I kept pausing it. Like, why is this still happening? It's just like. It's just wild, too. And I think also, we talked about all these other examples of like these great movies.
You like how I texted you, like, it's only a little over an hour.
All these great movies, blah, blah, blah. But even then, there's just like shit like episodes of the Justice League that are
light years better.
Light years. Like, and this was a $20 million budget.
Yeah.
You're like, how? What happened?
Like I said at the very beginning, I really think it was just too many projects, people getting split too many different ways. I think
my mom nailed it on it.
Like,
it was a cash grab,
and that's another thing. And then like I made a note. It's like I can't tell if not enough attention was given to this movie or too much attention was given to this movie as well. You know what I mean?
I think you kind of both right. I think too much attention was given, and then they had to stop
by too many different people,
and then they had to stop. It's like, well, we need to get something out there. So like,
you
got this far. That's great. Fine. Whatever. Package that part. Next part. Now we got to do the next thing and the next thing. And then they were just kind of like this half-baked.
There's a really cool song in there. Really cool song. Really good song. Which also, no,
back to the round of time.
It also sounds like at the very. I thought it was like "Can't Wait to Be King" was about to start as well. I feel like I want to play. I meant to play them next to each other because I think it's the same fucking rhythm.
Like it starts off the same, probably.
Yeah.
Sure. So
1.5.
1.5. I kind of like feel bad about it.
I don't.
No, not the rating. The fact that we're even reviewing this.
We didn't know.
Sometimes you get a lemon, like I don't know.
Also, it's good for us to look back at these things and be like, oh wow, that was bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I loved We're Back. I loved We're Back when I was a kid. And God, I'm sorry, but the kids were also annoying as shit too. There was some like, well, Louis was so annoying.
Louis was obnoxious.
He was a little brat. She was like, okay.
Also, wait, hold on a second.
She was polite.
Wasn't like part of the fucking reason he sent the dinosaurs there was because to like grant kids wishes?
No, the wish was, I want to see dinosaurs. Dinosaurs.
Where do these fucking wish bubbles come from?
From his wish radio.
That's what that was?
Yeah.
All right. Also,
there was a wish radio and a nightmare radio, and they both used it for
that's right, the nightmare
their deeds.
Oh my god, we didn't even really get into like the nitty gritty. We're in an hour. We could talk so much more about this movie.
Oh,
honestly.
like the circus and everything. We didn't even really talk about. I mean, I want to go to that circus.
No, it looks fucking cool. It's okay. The whole thing that's like they're projecting into this movie.
I love getting you riled up again. It's like you were like, no, we're done. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This fucking service is like it's like a fucking like a haunted house pretty much, and they built this whole thing of like perfect. Well, I mean, he is like, you know, it feels like slavery and whatnot. Like it's like his practices are not good, but because he's an evil guy. But the idea of this circus being like a haunted like is a really cool idea, and it kind of feels like they're shaming horror, like spooky things in this movie. Like, don't like the spooky things. Bad people like the spooky things.
Yes.
Spooky.
Spooky. Oh.
We need to wrap up.
Yeah.
We should wrap up.
That was we're back. We're back.
A Dinosaur Story, because Rex is telling the story.
And we'll be back.
God damn it, Rex, your horrible storytelling bullshit.
Why did he get the most lazy name out of all of them?
I don't.
Well, I guess the other one's name was Dweeb.
Yeah, that's true.
Woog, Dweeb, and Elsa. Yeah. Well, he's the only one that's kind of named after his dinosaur
name. Actual
name.
Dinosaur name, yeah.
I was like, Dweeb, because he's a Dilophosaurus. No, he's not a Dilophosaurus. What was he? Dilophosaurus is the thing.
I don't remember. I'm actually not very good with my dinosaurs. I was more of a trains kid.
Rex, that means king. Be a king, Rex. Put her down.
And then crows. Disappears. Literally, they consumed him.
Well, that was another weird thing. It was like this weird science and magic, and nothing really had an explanation to it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they didn't go really hard with the science and just be like, oh, it's so scientific that it's magical seeming. And they didn't just go with, it's just magic. Who gives a shit?
Oh, also Deus Ex Machina of fucking Happy Eyes or Captain Eyes. Good Eyes.
New eyes.
Thank you. Fucking just coming down and saving the day, and like, oh, here's the fucking museum director you were supposed to find, by the way. Here she is now, and then take him away. It's like, fucking, we're doing Quest for Camelot next week, guys. Let's just, I'm done.
Well,
I'm just shut up.
I think that's my next writing idea. I like that idea of taking someone that's, number one, never been to New York City, but never really been to this planet. It's like, it's a changed so much. It's a new planet, basically. And being like, all right, we're going to drop you somewhere randomly in New York City, and you have no reference point. You don't really speak the language. You don't really know the culture. Go find this one specific place on your own. Please.
But they're magic dinosaurs.
But they're not even magic. They ate cereal. They ate brain grain, and it made them smart. It's like, I like too that being smart makes you nice. It's like, you could have still made them smart dinosaurs, and doesn't mean they're not assholes.
Oh, that's another thing, is like the apology of being mean the entire time. You know, the dinosaurs, because he was a big mean dinosaur. Now that he's smart, he's nice, and he's apologizing for that. He's making up for his dirty deeds as being a dumb, mean dinosaur.
Well, again, you're not a mean dinosaur. You're hungry. You're just being a dinosaur.
Yeah.
And the Triceratops eating meat the whole time really drove me nuts.
Fair.
That really, like...
Well, but that's kind of like the funny thing, though, is that because he's also like, have you had a hot dog before? It's so good.
Well, he's the fat guy
in
the movie. That's what he is, you know, but I'm like, they're herbivores. They don't eat meat. Or that's, you know, in theory.
Now that he's sentient, he eats whatever the fuck he wants, all right?
Evolutionarily not designed to eat meat.
Yeah, no, you can't digest
He has a beak.
All right, let's fucking finish
I guess
this
that
up.
doesn't matter. I guess a falcon has a beak, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, let's wrap this up, though.
Okay. I actually kind of having fun hating. Okay, yeah, 1.5 for we're back. Like I said, we'll be back, and yeah, I guess we're doing... I'm kind of nervous.
Same.
We're going to do Quest for Camelot? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Like, I remember liking that one, too. There's a blind guy with a stick, and there's a talking parrot axe creature.
And there's a 2-headed dragon.
Yeah, the comic relief 2-headed dragon that bicker all the time. And there's a lady.
There's a damsel in distress. And a young... a farm boy hero.
And I remember if correctly, she's like, she likes to read. That's her like deal. Not, you know what I mean? She's the...
I wonder how many Disney princesses they just kind of...
If I remember she's kind of like a Belle situation. She's smart and capable, and
if she's stuck at the top of a castle, then the Rapunzel at some point. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Oh shit! It's Quest for Camelot.
Yeah,
it's based off of that trilogy, the Green Knight and.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, it's based off of that. We're fucking stupid.
There's Camelot in the name.
Yeah, it's the Quest for Camelot. It's part. I can't remember what it's called now, but the Green Knight and
fuck and Lancelot.
Yeah,
and fucking King Arthur. Merlin's gonna be in this movie somewhere.
I why did that not register? All right, so this is now officially our based off books animated block.
I guess so.
By accident. Okay. Thanks for listening. We gotta go. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob. Tommy and Jake. You'll find us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram.
Hit the link tree. Just hit the link tree. Hit the link tree.
All right, just do it again.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob. Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Fucking Camelot.